In many biblical stories, there is a moment that feels uncomfortable, not because something dramatic is happening, but because nothing is happening, a moment where the story pauses, where movement slows, where the narrative seems to wait. And for many readers, this moment feels like a delay. But what if it is not a delay? What if it is part of the pattern? Because across Scripture, before everything changes, there is often a period of waiting. Waiting is one of the most difficult experiences for any reader. We are drawn to action, to movement, to visible change. But waiting feels different. It feels uncertain. It feels unresolved. It feels like something is missing. And yet, this moment appears again and again in biblical narratives. Ancient writers did not include waiting by accident. They understood that transformation requires preparation, that change does not happen instantly, that something must shift beneath the surface before it becomes visible. And that shift often happens in silence, in stillness, in waiting. While the story appears to pause, something is happening. Not in the external narrative, but in the structure. The direction is being prepared. The outcome is being shaped. The next movement is already forming. Even if the reader cannot see it yet, waiting often feels empty. Because it lacks visible progress. There are no clear signs, no dramatic changes, no immediate results. But this does not mean nothing is happening. It means the change is not yet visible. Across different books, different authors, different moments, this same pattern appears. Silence, stillness, waiting, and then movement. This repetition is difficult to ignore. Waiting changes perception. It forces reflection. It removes distraction. It creates awareness. In that moment, the reader is no longer focused on action, but on meaning. While waiting continues, the narrative begins to shift. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. The direction begins to change. And by the time movement returns, the transformation is already underway. This pattern reflects something deeply human. In life, change rarely happens instantly. There is often a period of waiting, a moment of uncertainty, a space where nothing seems to move. But everything is already changing. When readers begin to understand this pattern, waiting no longer feels like absence. It feels like preparation, like transition, like something meaningful. Time itself becomes part of the narrative. Not just what happens, but when it happens. Not just the event, but the delay before it. And in that delay, meaning begins to build. So the next time a story seems to stop, when nothing appears to move, when everything feels uncertain, you might pause, because that waiting, that silence, that moment of stillness, may not be a delay at all. It may be the exact point where everything has already begun to change.